Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness. I need somebody just to come in right off the top and hit the like button just for the simple fact that you see us. That it ain't cause of what we said. It's just because you see us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new edition, as we said last week, this new addition to the Cowboy space. It is called the Cowboys OG Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the OG Podcast because simply there's a lot of gray hair in this. You understand? It's not the young bucks. It's not the greatest ideas. It's just guys who've been Cowboy fans for such a long time. We skip through the red tape, and what we do is just say this is BS. You understand? We don't try to negotiate. This is what the OG podcast was. This is where if the young folks say we keep it real. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the OG podcast do. If you want the truth, you come to the OG podcast. Like if you saying, well, we're optimistic about the Cowboys, the OG podcast gonna say, look, we ain't optimistic about nothing. We know we ain't going nowhere. We too old to play. You understand? We don't want to fill you up with hope when there is no hope. I'm sorry, some of y'all don't like it already, but I'm just telling you what you expect on this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not by myself. Most of you know me, I'm big time. Man, look, I got some legendary guys that are two of the best content creators that is out in the space. We just decided to come together and do it all together. I got B-Bird in the house, and then I got my fraternity brother, the great Cowboy Joe in the house. And we just here to spread the truth. When y'all get through all the other shows, if y'all want to know what the truth is, y'all bring y'all little young tails over here and come holler at us, and we'll get you ready for the game this week. I'm out of the way. I got my brothers in. What up, B-Bird?
Hey, what's up, big time, man? I appreciate you, brother, for that introduction. Hey, like you said, we ain't got time to be playing around. We got too much data in our minds. We got too many things that we've seen in our minds. Yeah. Hey, we ain't talking about what we heard. We talking about what we seen. So, yeah. So I tell people all along, man, hey, if I get 10 followers or 10,000 followers, I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm just going to let it lay out there. I ain't going to change nothing for followers, man.
We too old to lie.
My opinion is, it's just what it is, man. Like you said, I'm too old to be out here playing around. My son's 21, he's a Cowboy fan. He probably got a lot of years left. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm trying to get 6 fast, man.
I know that's right. Look, we trying to make sure we get it before we check out of here. You know what I'm saying? What up, Cowboy Joe? Good to see you there, bro.
Good to see you, Nope. Always good to be on with you and B-Bird, and to show you what we're talking about from an OG standpoint. I see someone in the chat said they like the 49ers. Mm-hmm. See, I'm from that time period where we still hate the 49ers.
We hate them.
We hate the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We hate them.
We hate the Green Bay Packers.
We hate them. So talk that.
That's what it's really all about. So, again, Cowboy Joe, father and son, Cowboys and sports talk. I'm a 3rd-generation Cowboy fan. My son is my co-host. He's a 4th-generation Cowboy fan, DJ Jules. He's at practice tonight with his son, but man, I'm just excited to be on with you guys. We tried to set this up last week, and we got it off the ground today. So I'm really excited to join you guys.
And we're gonna be with y'all all season. So get ready for it. We're gonna do our best to do it, even if that means that we're trying to go live. Appreciate all you people that came in live. But even if we have to send a pre-recording, we'll do that as well. Yeah. We committed to each other for doing this. I think it's an outstanding idea. It is, not to be trying to be segregated or whatever, but there's some older Cowboy fans out here that feel the way we do. We're on the search for them. If y'all young folks want to come on. We don't mind. But there's a group out here that we found out. We only did the show one time. We didn't have any notes. We didn't have really a script. And man, at least on my channel, the Big Time Show YouTube page, man, we had 1,300 people
Yeah, that was one of
with
my biggest.
views.
My biggest too.
And that's not even counting B-Bird's channels and Cowboy Joe channel. So we obviously had more than 1,300. So they let you know that people vibe with us on that. They vibed out with us, and we appreciate it. So we're here. We figured we could do this for a while and go ahead and do it. Listen, all of you people, before we get started, hello to all of you that are on all the channels. Listen, hit that like button. That's how you can help us out.
Yeah, please.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Everybody do that for us. Hit that like button. This puts us in people's faces that we don't even know. YouTube suggests. We learned that about the algorithm. The more likes, the more people the show is put out to people that you wouldn't even know that you would see. So we need your help in that area. Do that for us. Good evening to everybody. Forgive us if we don't speak or whatever the case may be. Exactly true, Cowboy. I see your comment. We don't need no notes. Exactly. Y'all know me. And if you don't know B-Bird, I don't know how you don't know B-Bird. If you don't know Cowboy Joe by now, something wrong with y'all. This is where the truth lives. And we going to go ahead and get this thing started. Please don't hesitate. Go ahead, man.
Man, Cowboy Joe said something earlier, man. If you're a Cowboy fan and you don't hate the 49ers and Steelers, we probably out your age.
Yeah, you don't even understand.
You know what I'm saying? I watched the 49ers and Steelers just to root against them.
Yeah.
That's how much pain they caused us over the years, man. Man. Yeah, man.
I just got a tear in my eye just thinking about it right now. Y'all killing me with this.
Hey, big time. I can't even watch commercials with the catch on it, man.
You see what I'm saying? It still hurt. It hurts. It hurts. Especially when you know you're supposed to warn. Yeah. It really hurts. So it is what it is. See, these young folks don't know that. They still talking about the Eagles and all that. Yeah, we can't stand the Eagles, but Lord, we got a real problem with the Steelers and the 49ers. A very serious problem. Yes, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and talk, gentlemen. I'm going to turn the mic over to show you how good these guys are. There's no notes, but we watch how we roll. I'm going to go ahead and let Cowboy Joe kick this thing off, and we'll do our little panel that way. And whatever you want to talk about, we all pop in and talk about it.
So we're going to go ahead and start with this question. And so George Pickens is going to be center stage on Sunday. So the question for the panel is George Pickens a number one receiver? And we're going to talk about that a lot over the next 15 or 16 weeks because he's trying to get paid as well. I think he has the same agent that Micah had. There's some debate about that. So Jerry is about to get a first-hand look at Pickens. And so we were just talking about, the Cowboys of years past. So the question that I have to ask myself and ask you guys, is George Pickens a number one, or is he like the second coming of Alvin Harper? That guy that he's the number two. He makes the big plays, and we saw, Alvin Harper make all those plays. So I'm not decided on if he is a true number one or 1A, 1B, or is he just another edition of Alvin Harper?
Well, I think he proved that in Pittsburgh. So he came in to Pittsburgh and was a number one wide receiver over there with questionable quarterback at best. One of the things I think you got to do too is this situation right here is going to be advantageous to the offense with CeeDee Lamb being out, as far as because what it's going to do is going to force the offense to kind of, hey, we're going to throw the ball, we got to throw it to Pickens. Hopefully they do that, and other people step up. Like if you're teaching your say your son is a right-handed basketball player, and you try to teach him how to go left. Well, you got to force him to go to his left hand because it's natural to go to his right. I think that's the way Dak is with CeeDee Lamb. He just naturally has a connection with CeeDee Lamb, so he goes there first, and then he'll go to everybody else after that, which is what they normally do. I think Dak kind of leans on that a lot, but they've taken it away now. So I think now you're going to be like, okay, now Pickens, I got to go to you, right? You know what I'm saying? And then when CD comes back, now you got the you got the rhythm already with Pickens that you established, and you've already over years established something with CD. So I think it's just going to help the offense, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Dan. The answer to the question is I don't know. All I can say is based off of what I've heard. This is what I've heard about George Pickens. Some of y'all would get mad already, but we tell the truth over here. I've heard that he runs lazy routes. I've heard that he's not a very good route runner. I've heard that he's an excellent jump ball wide receiver and a one-on-one type guy. Well, in this offense, with that, you're going to have to be kind of precise. I never have thought Dak was a kind of a gunslinger type quarterback, to be honest with you. I thought he was more of a timing type dude. And Pickens just doesn't. Pickens kind of remind me of a Dez Bryant type.
Yeah.
And so my question is, CD beats double teams. And CD beats double teams with his route running. He's an excellent route runner. And I don't know if Pickens can do that. It's kind of like we're about to find out like right now because I believe, I hate to fast forward to the game, but I'm thinking that they're going to try to take Pickens out. Yeah. They're not going to let Pickens even get loose, Green Bay is. And they're going to make Jake Ferguson and probably Turpin and Tobin going to have to beat us in the air. I don't think they're going to give Pickens a chance, and I'm not sure he can beat it. There's film that says that he gets kind of lazy with his blocking as well. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he is. But we're about to find out, y'all. We're about to find out what he is, and he gonna put his, whatever he is. The good news, if you're looking for some of it, is you're gonna get his best foot forward because, like you just said, he's trying to get paid. So whatever he is, we're getting ready to find out in this 3 to 4 week, however long CD is out. We're about to find out what kind of damage he really can do, and that's going to be a big thing about how much he's going to end up getting paid. So we're about to find out. That's the only thing I can say. So I can't say that. I have to see.
So the other thing we got to look at too, guys, is he the type of player that Jerry and Steven want to play? I said during the game last Sunday, when Pickens slammed his helmet on the sideline, he was frustrated. I just said to myself, Steven and Jerry, they don't like these types of players, guys that kind of have that dog in them, the personality, that's something that they don't like. So when I saw him slam his helmet down, for me, it was a good thing. That's what we need. This team is missing that. But the front office, that's not what they call the right kind of guy. So, what do you guys what were they thinking when you saw him slam his helmet down on the sideline after that play?
Well, the first thing I was thinking is he slammed the helmet like somebody else did something wrong. like what he mad at? he slammed it like he ought to be Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? So it was textbook dropping the ball in somebody else's hand, man. That's what it was. It was just a bad drop. But when he did it, I was just confused on why he's so frustrated. Now you dropped the ball. You shouldn't be that frustrated over you dropping the ball.
Yeah. I thought that, he was just mad at himself. He wasn't mad at nobody else. He dropped the ball. And like Joe just said, we haven't seen that probably since Dez left.
Yep.
Dez was that type of receiver. But again, when you signed him, you know what he was. The only good, if you want to take a silver lining out of that, because the press will make something big out of that. He wasn't doing it at his teammates. He was doing it there. Now you can speculate and say, okay, if he's getting double teamed Sunday night, and he's not getting the ball, will he do something like that again on the sideline? But this time he'll be directed toward Schottenheimer or Dak. and that's fair. If you ask me, I'll say that's fair because you got to project it because you saw some of this, whether it was directed in a different direction. You saw some of this in Pittsburgh. You saw some of that. So you just kind of wondering, what's got to, what's in you got to come out eventually. So it's gonna take certain situations. But let's be honest with you, your wide receivers have always been divas. So that's a diva type of guy reaction, and it is what it is. But if he's that bad, guess what? You rent him for a year. If you can't deal with it, it ain't no problem. He gone. If it's such a big problem, so he's on a tryout basis this whole year. But here's the kicker: he's trying out for every team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just in case the Cowboys don't sign him, everybody's looking at Jordan Pickens to see, how he responds. Why did he throw his helmet? Folks gonna make a big deal out of it because everybody figuring like, okay, he's with Pittsburgh, he's with Coach Tomlin. If he can't survive with Tomlin, how in the world you think he's supposed to be with anybody else? So, it's a lot of things that come with Pickens, but a lot of these questions is going to be answered in these next 2 to 3 weeks. Or you have a better answer.
Yes.
It ain't going to really complete it because CD will come back, but you will get a better answer of what life could be like if he is a number one type dude. So, I don't know.
So I think if I looked at it correctly, after the interception, I don't think Dak targeted Pickens again after that. Do y'all remember another target after that?
Nah.
Yeah. And so I don't know if I know,
it was the Jake Ferguson show.
Yeah. And so I hope that wasn't a theme because I actually think and one of my questions is going to be about Dak, but I just hope that it's not one of those things where you shy away from a guy because he made a play like that, right? Because you're going to need him to win. That's all it is to it. I mean, you're going to need him to perform like a number one wide receiver Sunday night for us to win. That's what I think. So we gotta stay, with that connection. We can't give up on that connection.
Yeah, I want to throw something at you guys too that I think is going to be a factor Sunday night. So back in the 90s, I went to a lot of games at Texas Stadium, and in the 90s, the Green Bay Packers, we dominated them. But what was kind of odd when I would go to those games, guys, they had a lot of cheeseheads there, a lot of Green Bay fans in the stadium. So I think what's going to happen Sunday night, to Jerry's dismay, I think 40% of the crowd is going to be Green Bay Packer fans. So that's going to be interesting to see how the team handles that, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, I'll take that one. I'll say you absolutely right. It's going to be a home field advantage, like every other game is, because you got to keep in mind that when people come to Texas, those not Dallas people, those are people who just, living the dream of finally coming to the stadium for the first time. Yeah. So it's more like sightseeing. We ain't never been a loud crowd. You know what I'm saying? We have never been like that. And Green Bay is one of those fan bases that travels extremely well. Yep. Green Bay is like the Cowboys. Whatever state that you're in, they're Green Bay Packer fans there. Their fan base is, I don't think it's as large as ours is, but it's pretty much up there. And so they travel tremendously well. And I will say that you're going to hear some noise for Green Bay. There's going to be more Cowboy fans there, but they're not kind of like the diehard fan Cowboy fans. They're just there. It's the stadium. Let me walk around. Let me see it. And, let's just sit here. We'll only cheer if we score type people. Stuff like that. So I agree with you 100%. It will be a whole bunch of green and white in there. Because if you saw the game... If you saw the game against Cleveland, if you saw any of it, man, they was in there in Cleveland. Yeah. I mean, they were right there in Cleveland. And if you saw the the Detroit game, what game was that? They just won last Thursday or something like that, whatever it was. Did you see how many people were there when Michael Parsons was getting interviewed? I mean, it was like crazy.
Oh yeah. I can't remember.
Oh man, the Green Bay travels well, so
yeah.
I'm expecting. And then of course, Cowboy fans, to be honest with you, I can't blame them if you want to go this route. Shoot, if I was a season ticket holder too, listen, that's a way to make some real money for those 8 games. They said that the cheapest ticket, because who was that said that? Lose Takes. Lose said that the cheapest ticket, and that's up at the top. Yeah. The cheapest ticket is $600.
Yeah.
So the further you go down, I mean, let's start doing the math. Good Lord. So the real Cowboy fans like, oh, I just watch it on TV. Well, those are the ones that are going to be real passionate. But at the same time, you try to get that money. So a lot of those Green Bay people, the reason why they're in there is because they bought the tickets from Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
Remember, I don't mean to take up too long, but remember, there's a waiting list for season tickets for Dallas Cowboy game. Yeah. How in the world all these folks get in there then? Because we selling the tickets. So there go your fandom right there.
So what you have this phenomenon of, say you're a Cowboy fan in Jacksonville. Well, you're not going to see the Cowboys come to Jacksonville probably every 6 or 7 years. So whenever they come to Jacksonville, if you want to see your team without flying to Dallas, you got to go to Jacksonville game, go see them there. The same thing with Green Bay fans. Like, they got a lot of Green Bay fans in Texas. Well, it's not promised that you're going to see them all the time. So when they come and you got a good team, oh man, you got to go to that game, no matter what the price is. Why? Because now I got to fly to Green Bay. Now look at all the associated costs with flying to Green Bay. And so you will have some fans that fly in and go to the game. But most of them are just going to be Texas fans that, hey, I'm a big Green Bay Packer fan. I'm from Oklahoma, Arkansas. The drives aren't far. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be there. They're going to be there loud and clear, man. One of the things I was going to tell you about the tickets too, man, is interesting because one of my coworkers said, he's not even a Cowboy fan. He said, yeah, man, me and my wife was going to go to, I don't know if it was Tampa. We playing somewhere in Florida this year. He said, we're going to go to the, I'm trying to see if it was Carolina. Do we play Carolina? I think we do play Carolina this year.
We do.
And so he said, man, but the ticket prices are crazy. I was like, in Carolina? He's like, yeah. Well, I went and saw the game. I took a seat like in the end zone of the game before when they played somebody like the Titans. Dude, the seat was like $64.
Yeah.
The same seat when the Cowboys come in is $400 and something. The same seat. That's crazy to me, man. That really is. And I was going to the last time I messed up and got me and my wife and my 2 youngest, we went to the Cowboy game. And we usually go up in the nosebleed section, man, but I surprised them. I said, hey, nah, we going down. We did the 100 section. So we did the 100 section. We were real close and like by the end zone. Well, now I'm kind of spoiled. We want to do it all the time. So I've kind of picked out the Minnesota game to go to, which I got the flights and everything, but I always cancel that. I haven't bought the tickets yet. Man, it's been hard on me buying them tickets because they like $500 a piece. I was like, man, I don't know if I can do no $500 a piece, man. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't, the ticket prices are crazy, to be totally honest with you. And I think that's what ends up happening, man, because Jerry kind of built this stadium for entertainment and to be a revenue driving type stadium instead of, hey, we're going to build this thing for football, give us a competitive advantage. And, and then we get motocross, WWE. After that, everything is great. But we're going to build it for a football advantage first. But since we old school here, and I'm kind of this question came to my eye. What advantage did we have that all the teams complained about in the old Cowboy Stadium?
Texas Stadium?
You have what?
Texas Stadium?
Yeah.
Man, back in the day, it was just our talent that we had. I'm not sure. Y'all hear that echo?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay.
So somebody turn your phone down on that, unfortunately. Somebody turn your phone down.
Okay.
There you go.
But no, B-Bird, so what was our home field advantage?
The crown. Remember the crown?
Oh, yeah,
The field had a big old crown and it went way down to the bottom. Other teams couldn't really get used to that.
The uneven.
It
was uneven. Yeah.
It go way high, then it go way low on the side. And people said, I listened to Brett Favre say, man, I could never get used to how to throw the ball. I throw it high. It took me a half to get used to just how to throw the ball. By the time the half is gone, we down 21 points.
Yeah.
So we don't even have a competitive advantage in this stadium anymore, man.
Yeah.
We definitely don't. The thing about the price, man, is when you price tickets that high, the regular fans that's gonna come in and cheer the top of their lungs, they're not gonna be there, man. You're just not gonna get those kind of people.
Yeah, exactly. B Bird, what you got? Cowboy, were you through? Because you full of topics tonight. You through? We rolling. You got some good stuff.
We rolling. One last thing to add to this home field advantage, I want to say. So, a few years back, do you guys remember we played the 49ers at home and they came out with the boom box at the beginning of the game? Debo and some other guys. They went to the Star. So Jerry Jones, and it was a 49er takeover at the stadium. So Jerry Jones was on 105.3 The Fan. And, you know, some of the fans were complaining about the 49ers taking over our stadium. And they asked Jerry about it. And he said he was fine with it. He's fine with another team taking over our stadium because he's just making money. So that's our problem. So we need to get into this Jerry thing because I think you know, he's going to at some point. We're kind of to the point to where Jerry, he's probably this trade he made. I'm calling it a legacy trade, guys. So the legacy trades for the Cowboys are the Herschel Walker trade, the Charles Haley trade, and I think it's going to be the Micah trade. So I think Jerry's lasting legacy, if he's not careful, it's going to be this Michael Parsons trade.
You go, big time.
Well, I'll wait. I have let me see. I have 2 years before I can give my final judgment on it. Right now, the trade ain't looking good. But you can't say anything about the trade until you see what we do with the 2 additional picks, whether we partner them up and go get somebody or whether we use them in the trade or whatever. And then you got to wait to see, you know, what they turn into, for we really won't know the benefit of it for years to come. But it's going to hurt right now because Michael Parsons has a chance to be Defensive Player of the Year. And if he come out with that, we're going to say, dang, we let go to Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Parsons, of course, if he stays healthy, is on a Hall of Fame trajectory already. So we, of course, it don't look good now. Right now, what Jerry said, and listen, I know he was reaching for straws because he's the ultimate salesman. So, but let's be honest, one of the things that he said was that we wanted to be better against the run. Well, so far, he's right. We are better against the run. Of course, we traded it for looking bad against the pass, but nobody, and some of y'all gonna say, I already know, but shoot, we don't need to run. Nobody don't need to run the ball. If y'all gonna give up 500 yards passing, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I ain't gonna even argue with you on that. But there's really been no running back, even with the assumption of week 1, for sure. With week 1 with Saquon running, everybody thought Saquon was gonna just go crazy, and he only got held to 60 yards. So nobody's really ran against us. So he said he wanted to sell out against the run. Kenny Clark has been a great addition to the team. That part of the trade, I will give him an A right now. But to really evaluate the trade or the legacy, as Cowboy Joe said, can't do it right now because we don't know who these draft picks going to be. So we got to kind of wait. And AJ, you say, do we read the comments? I just read yours, didn't I? So that answers your question. Now listen to me.
That was an OG response right there.
Yeah. I just read yours, so read it. Now listen. I don't know what channel you're on, AJ, but if If you don't, please turn it off. Yeah, no. Oh, you trying to tell me? Oh, let me stop. AJ, I'm gonna let you roll. Let me see how you keep talking. But if you wanna, at least on my channel. I don't know if you're on my channel or not. My channel is monetized. Anytime you do a super chat, I stop what I'm doing and read your chat. I figure if you contribute to the podcast that way, the least I can do is read you. When I got a lot of comments going, I'm gonna miss a couple. So I hope I'm trying to be nice. But if you coming in just to troll, I'm gonna get rid of you. So God bless you on that. Continue on. Yeah, B-Bird, I'm sorry.
So the run defense is better, right? I would say the pass rush is not as good as it had been with Parsons. Here's the deal, y'all. They make us pick either or, well, it could be both. Like you could have made the Clark trade for, and that's how you build your teams. To me, your window as a franchise is only as good as your franchise quarterback. That's what it is. Once you have a franchise quarterback, you build everything around that team at that particular time to try to win the championship. When have we went all in on this thing? And so with the draft picks, let me tell you what Jerry's going to do. Jerry's going to use those draft picks to draft players. Why? Because the place where he loved to get players from is the cheapest forms. The draft, UDFAs, after free agency start 2 months later and stuff like that. So he's not going to trade these guys for somebody. I don't think he will. I got another thing in my mind too, because he loves to trade for contracts as already stated. Like the contract's already placed, so he knows he's going to pay him. He ain't got to bargain on them. But no, you can have both, right? And so this legacy thing, like you're saying, but remember, we couldn't tell the Herschel Walker trade if it's going to be a good trade after even a week down. It took a while, and then be like, okay, that was a great trade. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take about 2 or 3 years to see. Also, too, it's going to be played against Micah Parsons' performance. Okay, if Green Bay wins in the next 4 years under Micah's contract, if he wins Defensive Player of the Year and they win 2 Super Bowls, and the Cowboys are just good, real good, no, you still lost the trade. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that you got didn't get you over the hump, and they got over the hump with what you gave them. So that's what it's going to be. So you got to put even Micah, you got to juxtapose them against each other and just see, okay, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I sent out a tweet the other day that I think one of the things we got to talk about is kind of the elephant in the room. The Cowboys have a reputation of being a really great drafting team or a really good drafting team. But when you look behind the curtain, we've had some questionable drafts. So, I agree with you guys. We just got to see how it all pans out. I do want to ask, who's picking the players? And got some concerns there. But, look, I think, Sunday night, like you said, big time, it's probably not going to look good. Although I do think they're going to send everything at Micah except the kitchen sink. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael comes out of this game with 0 sacks. Because
I wouldn't either.
They're just not going to let him impact the game. So, but yeah, it's still a wait and see type of thing. I listened to you guys the other night, big time show, DC Universe. And even on the panel that you guys had was an excellent panel. It was some debate on whether we should, move those picks now, which is what, Boss Cowboy and some of the other guys want to do. And then you had Jay Tuck, who was saying, let's just save the pick. So I'm kind of in between myself on what we should do. The thing I'm concerned about the Cowboys, guys, is when they make a trade, they normally get the bad end of the deal. So that's kind of my concern with the picks. So just want to see what you guys thought about that.
Well, again, your window is the quarterback, right? So if they have confidence in the quarterback right now, then you make those moves, right? Like if you feel like, hey, this is the quarterback we got, we just got to get some things around him, a better defense, better safety play, cornerback play, linebacker play, wherever you can do that at. But mind you, it does not have to be first-round draft picks. It could be, since you got the extra first-round draft pick, it could be a second or third-round draft pick or whatever to get whatever you need over here. But I think you need more personnel in it, to be totally honest with
you. The question to me is, what are you trying to do? I know what your mouth gonna say in front of the camera and all that, saying, hey, we're gonna try to win and all that type of stuff. But really, are you really trying? Because your actions are not matching your mouth. And so my question is, if you're really not trying to, win, or you're in somewhat of a rebuild, then stop lying and saying you're trying to win, go to the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl this year. I know he's not going to do that because he's the ultimate salesman. But if you're raw trying to win, then you got this window, as B. Bird just said. You got this window with that. Just it's small now, and you gotta, if you want to win, you gotta go ahead and make the moves that you need to make in order to make this roster be as potent as it can be. See, I'll go back to the Kenny Clark, Michael Parsons. See, a real aggressive move would have been like sign Michael Parsons, then trade your pick for Kenny Clark, and get both of them. See, that will say, oh my goodness,
that's right.
That's the kind of move that when you try to really go all in. But as I was saying, the B Bird, I'm sorry, B Bird earlier, when before we came on, is that the problem with us, because we want to win so bad as a fan base. It's been 30 years. We want to win so bad that we fell in love with the documentary and the gambler. And you heard Jerry rehash some of the moves that he made, and you saw and heard that he really was a gambler. And then you think that because he went and got Pickens, you say, okay, that's a gamble move. That's it. Okay, you trade away Parsons. That's a gamble move. You're looking for the gambler, but one thing is he ain't got Jimmy. That's one thing. The second thing is he really ain't gambling trying to win the Super Bowl. The gambler is going to get a Charles Haley. Gambler is going to get a Deion Sanders. And a lot of people are upset because you're not seeing the quote-unquote gambler. Well, you ain't seen him in years.
No.
You ain't seen that in years. So that we starving for anything. That's why everybody get hype about big names, the Stephon Gilmores, knowing that he ain't the same, but it's Stephon Gilmore. And you try to make him be the one that was in New England. He's not that anymore. You saying Jordan Pickens, you get hype about the name because you think, oh my God, we made the move. No, the gambler man is gone. We kind of resemble Stephen Jones now. He's the guy that concentrates on the salary cap. He's the guy that concentrates on all this. You know what I'm saying? And trying to save money. You got $30-some-odd million right now. We just hoarding money. Of course, you do realize that if you don't spend it, it rolls over to the next year. That could be the plan. And nobody, they ain't gonna never admit that, but that could be the plan. And let me tell y'all something, and let me move on. Listen, y'all. Listen. The Cowboys do have 2 first-round picks in the draft next year and 2 in the next year. Green Bay pick is gonna be like an early second-round pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're gonna look. Green Bay's pick, they're going to be 28 and down.
27, 28 on down.
Yeah, you figure they're going to, unless interest comes, you figure they're going to be there at the end. So What are we getting excited for? Okay, if the Cowboys do what they usually do, since everybody say Dak wins you at least 10 games. Okay, if that is the case, the Cowboys pick in the first round is going to be somewhere around 18 to 20.
16, 18, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but if the Cowboys look like what they looking like now, here's why you're not trading the pick. They ain't gonna never admit it. But if they know this team look like a top 8 pick in the draft, they're not gonna try to improve this. They're gonna try to get the highest pick possible.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that we're too early to say. We're too early to say what we are. It's just game 3. Cowboys get hot. Who knows? They might come out here and just shock the world Sunday night. I doubt it, but they might do it any given Sunday. You just never know. But then nobody thought Green Bay was going to lose to Cleveland last week. Guess what? Cleveland beat them. It's just that simple. But if they keep looking like, common sense would tell you, if they keep looking like what they looked like the last 2 weeks, they're not going to make any moves to improve this team. That would be crazy.
So big time. I think I didn't watch The Gambler. I think Cowboy Joe didn't watch it either. We didn't watch the documentary.
I haven't.
So Jerry gambled earlier because he had to, right?
He had to.
So now all the finances in order. He don't want to do no gambling no more. And it's like my financial advisor. He tells me, he said, man, look, he said, I'm not aggressive with your funds. And it's why not? Because you made most all your money. The only thing you can do is lose it now, right? Being overly aggressive. Because I'm close to retirement. So that's the same thing where Jerry's at. He made all his money. So the only thing you can do is lose it right now. This ain't about fielding the best team. It's about the most financially prudent team that he can field. That's one of the reasons why Michael Parsons isn't here either. So I just think, man, with the gambling is gone out of him because early on he had to do something down there. He just couldn't just keep it like it was. He had to do something, and so necessity brought about that. So that's where the gambling came from.
Yeah, I agree. Let me get that static out of there. That's another music there.
Yeah.
I had something. Did you have something on that Cowboy? I was going.
No, you go ahead, B-Bird.
So I want to say one thing, man. That I just been totally impressed with Dak Prescott over the last first three games, man. I just don't see where. I mean, even some of his interceptions can be, we can look at those with a critical eye. The one Pickens delivered to somebody else's hand, and the one in the end zone, which is on fourth down, which to me you run the ball 2 times right there anyway. But I just thought that he's been making real good decisions. Man, he's been playing top-notch quarterback to me. And so, nobody can really, even the first game he lost, I saw some guys on TV just saying, nah, man, Dak Prescott played real good. So I was going to get your opinion on how he's performed so far.
You go ahead, big time.
He's done well, but you see signs, unfortunately for us, we've seen him for 10 years. And so we know what he is. He's played well when games are close, but when he has to press the issue and he get down far behind, he gonna throw some picks. That's what happened last week. So it's obvious if we're gonna see the best Dak Prescott, we got to keep the game somewhat close. And now we're talking scheme now. But as far as the first 3 games go, other than and I really don't even count that first pick. That was off Pickens' hands. I mean, he just got to catch that. The one that he threw in the end zone, that was on him. He jumped up in the air, thought his arm was super strong like that, and it wasn't just an easy pick. But other than that, the kid has been, electric. No question about it. But we got to keep the games close to keep him from pressing. See, when he presses, that's when his mistakes come. And I'm not knocking those. I love the quarterback. I'm with him. But I didn't say him too many years. When he have to press or he's down and we line up a shotgun on every play and we passing, he's gonna make some mistakes. So we just gotta keep him in the game. We're gonna see the best part of it. The scores have taken away our best weapon so far. And that's Brandon Aubrey. He can't even really be a difference in the game because the defense is getting scored on so quickly. And I ain't even talking about in the third quarter. I'm saying like if we down 14-3, for instance, we shotgun the whole. As good as Javonte Williams has played, he only had 10 carries last week. Yeah. 10 carries for 76 yards. So we back to the shotgun is all on Dak, and this is where the criticism comes because the Cowboys put him in that position. You put him in shotgun for the whole game. You got to throw the ball the whole game and all that type of stuff. So that's not where Dak is at his best. He's functional, but he's not his best like that. So, but to answer the question again, B-Bird, I thought he's played pretty good so far.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is, I have this phrase that I use, guys. I call it deer in the headlights, Dak. And I want to get into this Eberflus discussion. I kind of heard you guys talking about it kind of in the green room there. So my thing with Dak is he's going to have some games where he's out of sync, the deer in the headlights look. And what's going to be important, you got to have a defense that's going to get you 3 and outs and get the other team off the field to give the ball back to Dak so he can get back in rhythm. We didn't see that Sunday. When we've had our big losses, it's because our defense is just not answering the bell. They just let Chicago went on a 10-minute drive last Sunday, which is unheard of, just like outrageous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so I think Dak is going to be okay as long as the defense keeps him in the game, keeps giving him the ball. Shoot, as they say. But Eberflus, I saw an amazing stat. I want to just throw this at you guys. Something that just blew me away. So they said the Chicago Bears, they've been in existence for 103 years. Okay, the franchise was started 103 years ago. The only time in 103 years that they replaced the coach mid-season or during the season was Matt Eberflus.
Wow.
So I think this hire, I've never felt good about it. I don't like the scheme. Last year when we had Zimmer under Dan Quinn, Mozzie's arrow was pointing up, Leo Fowle's arrow was pointing up. And so for some reason, when they decided to move on from Zimmer, they went back to the Marinelli scheme, which doesn't really fit Mozzie. Leo Fowle's not playing. And I heard Brian Broaddus on 3 different shows. He referred to our defense as a Money Kiffin defense. So I think that's a huge problem, and it's going to be a problem for Dak going forward.
I'll take it. I'll take it from a different approach, though. Not that Cowboy Joe is wrong. He's right, because when we start talking about defense, everybody can get some of this complaints. I'll take it from, I don't care what system that you're in. At some point, the players got to play. There needs to be an APB missing persons report sent out on the following people. Where is Sam Williams? What has he done? I mean, I remember all the talk. This Cowboy, am I right? Is this Cowboy OG podcast? And we know for telling the truth. Okay,
he's on a.
Didn't I hear all this off season talking about this gonna be a great year for Sam Williams and all that? Didn't I hear that? Where's Sam? Has Sam Williams done anything?
Nope.
I got another one. Anybody seen Dante Fowler? Double-digit sack guy. Has anybody seen Dante Fowler? Has he got a 1 sack this year? Has anybody seen him? I ain't seen him. I got one more. There's a missing person report. When Kenneth Clark came here, you figured that will open things up for Osa. We just paid Osa. Has Osa got a sack?
Nope.
And what has Osa done? So I don't care if it's a 4-3 or 3-4 or whatever you're talking about. They were depending on Jerry, Steven, Eberflus, were depending on Sam Williams to step up. They were depending on Dante Fowler to be Dante Fowler. And they were depending on Osa to be Osa. Ain't now one of those 3 done anything as far as I'm concerned. Not this year. So when you start talking about the lack of pass rush, they were dependent on Fowler to get the pass rush. They were dependent on Sam Williams. They ain't got nothing to do with Jerry. That don't have nothing to do with Eberflus. What that has something to do with is these guys are not what we thought they were. Now that is the bottom line. Yeah, well, you can point the finger at Eberflus and his stubbornness to not blitz. I'll give you that. Rush floor and drop 7. I would give you that. But at the same time, while we blaming Eberflus, it's kind of taking away some of the other blame too. Sam Williams, I ain't heard from him. I ain't heard from Osa. I ain't heard from Dante Fowler. I'm giving Donovan Izaraku, who they thought was another coming of Michael Parsons. He's a rookie. I'm not going to blame him quite yet. He's getting close, but he ain't made the play. He's a rookie, though. So those 4 people there, man, they ain't showed up. The ones that have showed up, this is where the politics come. James Houston is the only one that's getting in there. Yeah. Why is he not getting more snaps? Leo Fowler is obviously better than Sanborn in a nickel linebacker position. Why is he not getting his snaps? I don't understand it. So why we blaming Eberflus, and he's the one that's gonna get the axe. He's the one that's gonna get his head chopped off. But underneath that, oh no, I'm questioning if I'm in Dallas. I'm saying, you all right, Dante Fowler? You good? Is there something wrong with you? Sam Wynn, you talked all that trash, talking about how great you were gonna be. Where you at, son? So that's all I have to say about this. I'm just taking Cowboy Joe is right, but it's deeper than what he said.
Yeah. So the question I would ask y'all, man, is how much did those guys benefit from Michael's presence on the other side? Do you think?
A lot, yeah.
A lot. He got Michael demands 2 to 3 guys. I get that, but check this out. I'll let you have that one, B-Bird. And I ain't coming against you, but I'm saying let's go on the field now.
Yeah.
Kenny Clark demands 2. Where's Osa?
Yeah.
Cause that's 1-on-1. Osa ain't getting double teamed.
Nah.
So where's he just got paid. Where is he? Kenny Clark is taking on 2 and still got a sack. He leads the team in sacks right now, or time for the league. Where is he? James Houston don't have no problem getting in there. Where's Dante Fowler? That's the reason why we brought him back. He's a 10-sack guy. 10-year at least. 8 to 10 year. Where is he? So, if Kenny is taking a double team, somebody else got 1-on-1. So, I don't know.
I tell you this, though, it goes back to what Jerry Stevens said a few years ago. Hey, why pay one guy this amount of money when you can pay 3 or 4 guys? And that's kind of what they thought about with this situation here. Like, we don't let Michael go, but we got other guys that can all piece together the same amount of sacks that we would have, with Michael being here. And I don't think they, that's kind of with Eberflus, and we and you were talking about that beforehand. I said it's kind of like almost like if they traded Golden State traded Steph Curry before the season started, and then say, okay, go win. It's gonna be hard to win that way because I've taken away my best player. Now, no offense looks really good without Steph Curry out there, right? And so the defense ain't gonna look so good either. The pass rush definitely not gonna look good without Michael Parsons being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I want to see him do, the adjustment I'm looking for is, you got to take Sanborn off the field. That's his guy from Chicago. It's not working. And then I actually like Donovan Wilson. I've been a big fan of his, but you want to see him playing down in the box. And then another question I have, I need some inside information here, and I haven't seen it yet. I still can't figure out why 3 years in, Wanye Thomas is not getting major snaps at safety. He played some Sunday. It's just puzzling to me that he's not getting more playing time.
It's not puzzling to me. It's easy. It's to go back to what me and B-Bird were saying earlier. We have a track record of that. This is where the politics come in. If the Cowboys pay you, you're the one that has to play. No matter who's behind you, no matter if they're good or not. If we paying you, you're going to play. If you're drafted high, that's why Schoolmaker has gotten on field a whole lot. If we draft you high, you're going to play. So to answer your question, Donovan Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, and Malik Hooker got paid the same year, right? A couple years ago.
Yeah.
So they're in their contract. I'm talking, they got paid big. So they're in the contract here. That's why Wanye. That's why we let go of McCormick. Because we can't find no place for them to get on the field because other than special teams, because they're dedicated. Shoot, Donovan Wilson is a captain on this football team. Ain't nowhere in the world they finna sit down. I just told B-Bird this. If you watch Eberflus' press conference today, Eberflus, the question was asked. They saw the report asked, we saw Wanye Thomas get on the field. Wanye Thomas was on the field for that. Eberflus shut that thing down so fast, he said the reason why he was on the field was because Malik Hooker got checked out on the sideline. Soon as he was right back in, soon as he came back, he was right back in. Wanye sat down. So it wasn't because of rotation. It was simply because at the time Malik couldn't get on the field. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah, that's
And I
amazing.
think, me and my wife had this conversation today. We were just talking about sunken costs, right? And so, and I said, I told my wife, I said, sunken costs is basically stuff that you already put the money in, and sometimes people put money in, or Cowboys put money on draft picks in, and they feel like they got to ride it all the way out. Man, other GMs ain't got time for that, man. They're like, nah,
No.
that's just sunken cost. We pick that guy, he's no good. We're gonna go find somebody else. Why? I ain't got long. And we're
Yeah.
just gonna call that up. That's sunken cost. We can't never get that back. We made a bad decision. And that's what it entails. Like it entails you admitting that you made a bad decision. The Joneses never want to they never want to admit that they made a bad decision. That's why
No.
Schoolmaker's there. And well, no, that's why school. I was gonna go to Mozzie, but I think Mozzie did some good things last week, from what I could tell. But anyway, most of the times they never really want to say that they were wrong with a draft pick, nor with putting money into a player.
Yeah, I saw Mozzie doing some good things. So the thing that was frustrating about Mozzie is they activated Mozzie and then deactivated Toya. So again, it's just the way they're using the personnel. It's just questionable. So, but yeah, Wanye, and I was so disappointed when they cut Izzy. That play that Izzy made in that preseason game down the middle of the
Outstanding.
field, just
Yeah.
a great play, and he fits what they looking for. And for him just to not get the playing time and then get released, it's just a major disappointment. So, but yeah, it's all about who they pay. And Trayvon Diggs, if I'm in Trayvon Diggs camp, what I'm saying right now is, and I was shout out to Stargazer. I was chatting with her a couple days ago with Trey and Big Time. We've talked about this, you and I.
Yeah.
You've had the knee injury.
Yeah.
I had the microfracture surgery. The problem with Trey is,
You ain't right.
you're gonna play, you're gonna have that adrenaline, but the issue is gonna be the Monday and Tuesday after the game.
Yes, sir.
So in Trey right now at this point, if he's protecting himself, he might have to just take a couple of games off just so he can recover, and that's probably what you're gonna see. But Steven and Jared and paid him. They don't care. They just want him to play.
I
Dude is
think
not
that
playing.
I think that is a perfect thing. Just to ask you, Cowboy, I had a torn ACL, so the ACL injury and recovery time has changed over the years. When I told mine, it was 1990. So the surgery was completely different than it is now. Guys are coming back in 7 to 8 months. They don't take a whole year for ACL. But since you had the microfracture surgery, a lot of people don't understand what that is. So, Cowboy Joe, what is the actual recovery time or the suggested recovery time for a person that's had microfracture surgery? Because it's different from ACL.
So I had it in 2021. It took me a full, basically, I'm gonna say 2 years. When I had my microfracture surgery, I was 2 years in, and my grandson, he was doing the terrible twos thing, and we have a big backyard, and so he would just take off running, and so I had to try to chase him down and try to cut. I had to just stop and turn. So, they drill holes in your knee, and so when that blood clots, that's your new cartilage. So the bottom line is you have bone on bone, which is very painful. That injury, it shortened Anthony Spencer's career. You guys remember Anthony Spencer?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a good he was a good player. He had that surgery that ended his career. So I said all that to say this. Diggs has had ACL and microfracture. He had the new version of it. So to answer your question,
But what I'm saying,
2 year recovery.
bingo. So he came back less than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he
game
stepped,
has been his first game.
so when he stepped on the field, it is obvious, or it should be obvious, that he was not 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you the part that you didn't say, Cowboy Joe, is you talking about the game. But even in the light practices, and even all of that contributes to possible swelling that don't go down. It might be something loose there that he's just playing on. The truth of the matter is that he came back too early. It's just that simple. So the Diggs that we knew that got all them picks and all that type of stuff, that guy may not be here anymore. It could be the Michael Gallup type thing. Michael Gallup just did not recover. That's why he retired now. He's gone. He's done. I'm not saying Diggs is done, but he don't try to make him be the Diggs that was the All Pro. He came back too early. That's why. And probably if he's having problems now, then it's a forecast to me that he's gonna have problems all year long.
Yeah.
Well,
and this is probably his last year with the Cowboys. I don't know if y'all both agree with that, especially with the comments that Jerry and Steven, said during the training camp. So they ain't really high on him. I think next year they got an out in his contract or something like that. So I think it's probably his last year. And I'm a big fan of Diggs too. But I know Diggs came back early. He wanted to prove them wrong. They kind of slandered him from the year before. And so he really wanted to prove them wrong by coming back. But then your performance is what you're putting out there for the rest of the league to see, So he's kind of in a tight situation now, but I don't know. It's not really a good look for him at this point.
So he may have to just take a game or two off, give himself some more recovery time, but that's not what the Jones is like. And I just
I'm almost scared. Look, I'm almost scared they're gonna try to bring back Ravel too quick too.
Well, I'm gonna do you one better. They're gonna try to do the same thing with Overshawn.
Yeah.
If I'm Overshawn, I'm in his camp, guys.
Yeah, man.
Just remember back to what happened with RG3, Robert Griffin. He had the same type of injury. He rushed back. So if I'm Overshawn, they're talking about Thanksgiving. Man, if I'm in Overshawn's camp, his agent, his family, I'm telling him, man, you need to be like really careful because you got to look at your long-term career. It ain't worth it.
No.
Yeah, man. They putting a lot on Overshawn too, man.
Yeah, they want him to be the savior.
Yeah.
So and he's already, even though he just started, all of us know that he's been injury prone since college.
Absolutely.
So he go ahead. I'm sorry.
One of the first shows me and Cowboy Joe them did, I guess I took him by surprise, and they said, man, he said something about Overshawn. I said, I'm a hype with Overshawn. And he say, like, man, you don't like him? I say, no, I like him. It's just that, availability is a big factor, man. The guy been hurt most of the time he's been here, So when he's out there, he plays real well, but the availability has been an issue.
Yeah, and when you start talking about a guy who gets hurt every year, you kind of almost saying he's just like Sean Lee was, great talent, but you can't depend on him. And so the way I think the record this year will kind of dictate Overshawn coming back. If the Cowboys by Thanksgiving, 3 and whatever, or 4 and something, ain't no sense of bringing them back. You wasting time doing that. But if they're in the hunt, they're gonna bring them back. That's just what's gonna happen. Same thing with Ravel. I just don't. He's on the ACL, so everybody's kind of different. But the Cowboys are known for. I ain't saying pushing because the guys want to play. I get it, but we are known for putting people on the field injured. I mean, look at Ezekiel Elliott the last few times he was ill. No, he couldn't hardly. His knee was always banged up, and you just run him out there like he's a number one wide receiver, wouldn't change, and make Pollard the number one. You still have Ezekiel doing it hurt us just crazy, man. So the Cowboys are gonna be the Cowboys. But like Cowboy Joseph, in the case of Overshawn, I would have to see where we are record wise and see if it's worth coming back for that last year to make a playoff push if we're there. If not, that like I said before, they're not trying to improve this thing if we way down in the dumps. You see what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna try to and bring Overshawn is an improvement. You know what I'm saying? Because if you bring Overshawn back, somebody got to sit down. There goes Sanborn, he gone. They want to keep Sanborn on the field if we lose it because it makes our draft pick probably a little bit higher. It's just that simple.
So I was gonna tell you guys. So Ravel's dad, I follow him on Twitter, and so it was interesting. Back in training camp, his dad is heavily involved in this career. If I'm not mistaken, his dad might have played in the NFL, but I know he's an athlete. But Cowboys, Stephen Jones and Jerry, they say, oh yeah, Ravel is getting ready to play. He's going to play in a couple of weeks. His dad say, no, he's not. He's not ready. He's not coming back. I don't even know what are they talking about.
Bingo.
So there you go. That's what they do.
Hopium.
Dad said no, he's not. He's not ready.
Exactly. And that's what they need to stick with him until he's completed records. You don't want to be back on the injury reserve list.
Yeah.
You just don't want to do it. And let's be honest with you. Let's be honest with you, B-Bird.
Yeah.
Look, the Cowboys training staff is not very popular right now.
Nah.
And right now, Ravel has been under the Cowboys training camp. I mean, the training staff. So let's keep that in mind as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, one thing too, man, we really underestimate. And I don't give Jerry a lot of credit, but we really underestimate how good they are with the media in framing things and all that other kind of stuff, man, and selling hopium and selling this team. They're real good at the media, but they've had a lot of time too. Like, so Jerry's been GMing for a long time, man. So over 30-something years. So he's gotten real good, and we have to give him credit, right? He's gotten real good at having charisma, being able to perform in front of a mic and being able to convince people, of his side. Like, to me, this Micah him thing, he was 90% in the wrong. The 10% was Micah talking to him about the contract anyway. That's the only other 10% on Micah's side. But he even got 50% of the people to agree with him. And I was like, nah, he's a great salesman, man. He can sell anything, man. So, they started going out in front saying, hey, he'll be back. They may know he's not going to be back. They're just throwing stuff out there to give us hope.
Well, he's already doing it because if you've heard him for the last, or especially this week, the first thing he's trying to say is help is on the way. So there, he's already telling you that the help is on the way as the guys that are coming back from injuries. So that involves almost everybody. Help is on the way. I don't think he's thinking about Overshawn right now because it really ain't time for that. But Ravel is one of the first names that comes up because it is about that time according to the timeline of him coming back. It is about that time. So he'll be one of the first ones. And then, of course, Bland. Don't know if Bland is out this week, but he obviously will be back. Probably.
I think Bland was playing this week.
Okay. Yeah. So if he is playing, then your help is there with others as well. So he's already selling that already, B-Bird.
So I guess
Cowboy Joe.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So me and Big Time was talking before the show. I think that was before the show. And I said, man, like we go to Philadelphia, who is the world champions, and we go to the rooms, say on defense, we don't have a room better than theirs. But I said, man to man, I don't know how many players we'll have that would start for Philadelphia. And I think he only named 2. And I said, whenever that is the case, you got a personnel issue also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I've done, we've talked about this, B-Bird, on the show that you and I did, talking about the 30-year drought. And I think that's one of the issues at the end of the day. And I was talking about this earlier. So here's the teams that I look at. I look at the Ravens, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Eagles, obviously. And so that's what separates us from those teams year in and year out. They just take good players. They know how to manage the cap. And so I agree. That's been our problem over the last few years. We just don't have the talent that the other teams have. Michael Gallup, on most of those teams I mentioned, Michael Gallup would have been a 3rd or 4th receiver. We played him like he was the number 1 here. On those teams, LVE, Damone Clark, they're not on the field. So I agree. It just comes down to personnel and good drafting. And it goes back to Steven and Jerry. I just think they still not football guys. They think they got a handle on it. They do a lot of goofy stuff. Nobody trades for George Pickens and then trades Michael Parsons. Nobody does that.
Wow.
So that's kind of so it's like the 49ers, Eagles, Chiefs. Now, and here's another thing that's really wild, guys. The Cowboys, they were talking about the Rams and, screw them picks or whatever they called it. They were trying to convince Cowboy fans that the Rams were over. They were done. Guess what? Since the Rams did that, they won a Super Bowl. They've been in an NFC Championship game, and they might be in the NFC Championship game this year. So Jerry and Steven, they've been wrong just all the way around about all of this. Look at the Rams.
Well, that was a different aggression. That goes back to the show that you saw me on with the other guys about they titled it F them picks. That's what the Rams did. They sold out to get that banner in the air, say they were the world champions, and they did it. They didn't care nothing about the future. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did the same thing when they got Tom Brady. They said, look, we're going to have Tom Brady for maybe 1 or 2 years. We trying to win a world championship, and we ain't worried about 2023 first round. No. We're gonna sell everybody out. We got to trade who we got to trade. We're gonna spend this money on free agency. Whether y'all say they too old or not, we're gonna curtail this whole thing around Tom Brady. We know he old, but we still think he's gonna win the championship. So we're gonna do whatever we got to do. Going in all in this year. The Super Bowl is in Tampa. We want to play a home Super Bowl in our stadium. Guess what? They did it. Guess what happened? They the world champions. They don't care nothing about the future. All they're selling out is that. The Jones family, that's just the contrast. The Jones family, however, we're still thinking that we have this Herschel Walker type mentality. The trade. We're building. We don't want to build right now. We're building for a 2, 3, 4 year dynasty. That's what we're building for. But we're not nowhere near that. Everybody talking about the Cowboys 90, the 92 team, building. We're not as good as the 91 team. The 91 team was 11-5, right on the doorstep. They just had to grow some more. They just had to learn how to win. We ain't nowhere near that. We can't get out the first round of the playoffs. One and done. We can't do that. And they still have this mentality. You know what, everybody in the chat, B-Bird, Cowboy Joe, you know what the worst thing that happened to Jerry Jones? He won. And he won he won that way. He won with the Jimmy Johnson, the building of a team. He saw it. He got 3 rings on his finger. Good Lord, the man is in the Hall of Fame. Yep. His problem is that he won, and he won it this way. So you can't tell him he can't win. He won. And so the hunger leaves because the league is changed. The league is changed to let's stack the deck now. Let's stack the deck, win now. Philadelphia traded away their cornerbacks. They had 2 rookie cornerbacks start.
Yep.
They traded away all them guys. And they won. And then Tampa Bay won by going all in. Then the Rams won going all in. So it's not the building process. The building, we're going in for all these years. We're doing that. And then we're going to try our best to win. The Baltimore Ravens, even though they didn't win, they went and got Derrick Henry. Because they know Patrick Mahomes was there. If you're going to beat Mahomes, you got to stack the deck.
Yep.
What you think Buffalo doing? If you're going to beat Mahomes, you got to stack the deck. What you think Philly did? If you're going to beat Mahomes, because everybody figuring Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to be there, you got to stack the deck. Why? Because the Chiefs are stacked. Because they got a contract with Mahomes for years, those 10-year deals that he can manipulate the contract, go get a DeAndre Hopkins, go get a Xavier Worthy. They thinking about, I've heard rumors talking about they thinking about going to get Tyreek Hill back.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? But you can do that, but the reason why you're doing it is because you want to win right now. Cowboys trying to build for the future. We got 2 first-round picks. We got those young guys on rookie contracts. If we can make in 3 years, make them a Pro Bowler, look at what we've done. And why everybody else is stacking the deck. And those are the ones that will be there at the end. What you think Green Bay did? Man, Green Bay said, man, forget all this. Michael Parsons out here and put him with this defense?
Yeah.
And we already got a great young quarterback. We ain't got no number 1 receiver. We got a whole bunch of number 2 receivers. But when you got this type of defense and put Michael Parsons with it, we going for the Super Bowl this year.
That's right.
That's the aggression.
So I would say this too. So Tampa Bay went all in, the Rams went all in, and they still today are in a better position than we are.
Yeah.
So when have the Cowboys went all in? Name a season they said, okay, no, we're going all in on the season. I can't even remember one because they never go all in. They're always building for the future because remember, he's a great marketer. He's a great salesman. I can sell you the future because it ain't here yet, but I can't sell you the present. So when is the time that you say, nah, man, we need to put it all together and go in here?
But what? Go ahead. But before I lose, let me stop you there because this is important.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to hit you, B-Bird, what I hit Jay Tug with. So there was a moment in the offseason that we all agreed that the Cowboys are really trying to win.
Pickens trade.
When they got Pickens and you got Parsons still, all you got to do was just sign Parsons. When we had Parsons, at least our mindset said we got Parsons, we got Pickens. We automatically said that this offense, if they stay healthy, was a top 5 offense with Pickens before they even snapped the play. Then we said the defense with Eberflus, because he's a good defensive coordinator, and with Micah there, now you're going to get a Donovan Izaraku. You bring Dante Fowler back, 10-sack guy with Micah. We said, okay, the only question is, can we stop the run? But at that time, we said, well, we still got saying we got Mozzie, so we still got question marks on that. But that was the all-in move. So I'm going to ask you, B-Bird, when we had that for that moment, didn't you think we was at least an 11, 12 win team?
I would say that, but I would say this. I was thinking 10, 11 wins with that, right? But I think it's almost like this. It's like I'm celebrating over eating a Ritz cracker because I'm used to saltines, right?
Man.
While Philadelphia, they eat steaks. Like Philadelphia don't even make a doggone IBAT at a Pickens. And I keep using Philadelphia, that's our rival. But they also is the way I like the way they do their too. They gonna make transactions and be like, good move. Wow, we always make those type of moves. We celebrate it because we don't do it.
Wow.
And so that's just the way I look at it, man.
Absolutely right.
And I wasn't shocked when they traded for Pickens and traded Michael Parsons because that's their history. You know, take you guys back, going back to the year that we lost to the 49ers at home in that I call it the boombox game. So we had Amari Cooper, we had CD, we had Cedric Wilson. So all they had to do was just add to that team, put some more players in. I think that was a pretty good team. The Rams won a Super Bowl that year. I think we could have beat the Rams. We could have beat Cincinnati too that year. So whenever they have a team that's on the cusp, hanging around the rim big time, they tend to just do something to themselves and take a step back. And they've done that throughout their history. So this is what they do. This front office, they just don't know how to put the team over the top. They're gonna always, do something to put them. They're gonna take a step forward, take a step back. That's kind of their history. And I'm gonna close with this real quick, B-Bird. Yeah. And we can talk about this in another show that we do, big time. Yeah. I want to talk about this Cowboys culture. We keep hearing culture. What is the Cowboys culture? The Cowboys culture is staring us right in the face. We just don't want to admit it.
No, I admit it.
The Cowboys culture is Steven and Jerry. That's the culture. Right. But we don't want to face it. The Cowboys culture is Steven and Jerry, and the things that they do, the way they don't want to pay the coaches, they don't want to. So that's their culture. So their culture is they don't know how to put the team over the top and go all in. So we're gonna talk about that in one of our shows coming up.
Wow. So finances get in their way, right? So okay, I want to try to get this. I'm not going to take up too much time, but your owner should not be at the negotiation table with the player agent. He just shouldn't. It's his money. When things are my money, I take it a little bit more personal, man. Like when I'm going out spending my money on something, I'm going, okay, let me go look at. I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at everything. I got some emotion behind my money. A GM don't necessarily have a GM on a regular team for say the Chargers. He doesn't have any emotional ties to the money. His job is to put the best players on the field. Why? I've always said this because I will lose my job if we're not successful. I need the best players and the coaches on the field. I need to convince the owner to spend the money. Well, if the owner is a GM, how does that even work? Where does the back and forth come from? And that's where the issue is, man. So when they looked at Amari Cooper's contract, and they looked at it and said, man, we got CeeDee Lamb coming up as a number one. We ain't got to pay him. It was financial. It wasn't football. Because football tells you, no, let's keep both these guys while CeeDee's still up on his rookie contract. And let's just ride this thing out and just make the team better everywhere else so we can see what we can do out of this. But the biggest problem that they have, man, is Jerry being in that position of owner, GM, it's a conflict of interest there, man. And I think what ends up happening, the GM doesn't show up ever. The owner shows up as the GM.
Wow. Let me close it out, Chad. I need you to join in on this real quick. I know we've covered a lot of ground, but what we did not do is the game on Sunday. Yeah. I need everybody to type in who's going to win and give me your score. Put it down there, and I ask the guys here what y'all feel about the game on Sunday. I started off. The Cowboys, in my view, it's something strange when all the money is on Green Bay. I'm quite sure it was like that with Cleveland last week, too. It's something strange, but I don't think Green Bay is going to make that same mistake. Some people call it a trap game. I don't think they're going to get trapped a couple weeks in a row. I think they're going to be hungry for there any doubts there. The intensity level is going to be already high. They want to win for Parsons. Parsons is going to want to put on a show. And then most importantly, our right side of our line is backups. BB is out. Booker is out. And then everybody's questioning the way that Terrence Steele is playing. So we already know where the pressure is going to come. You got a bunch of backups in. Michael Parsons knows everybody on that line, except maybe he knows everybody. T.J. Bass, he knows Hoffman, he knows Steele, he knows Tyler Smith, and he knows Guyton, and he already knows who he can beat quite easily, I may add, and he knows that. So it don't look good if we line up in the shotgun the whole game. This is a game that if it was an L game where we're going to have to run the ball, this is the game. Because you're going to have to keep this defense, our defense, off of the field. Cannot get into a shootout. And I think Dak Prescott, the way all defense is playing, he almost has to be perfect. And that ain't going to happen if he's not running the ball. So what Javonte Williams had last week, 10 carries, you got to have at least 16 to 18 carries. Miles Sanders, he's got to have at least 9 to 10. I wish we could run whoever our third running back is. I don't care if it's Hunter Limpkin. Let him get a couple carries. The only way you're going to slow this defense down, you got to hit him in the mouth. I mean, you're going to have to move. We all know Michael Parsons is not good against the run, so go at him. You go hit him. That's the only way you're going to slow him down. As long as he get the pass rush and all that type of stuff, he's going to destroy the game. And everybody talking about Michael. Don't forget about Rashad Gary on the other end. Come on now. So let's look. The only way you're going to be able to stop these guys this week, even with your backup lineman, you're going to have to run the football. You got to make a commitment to running the game, to slow the game down, help your defense, and then take it from there. George Pickens, I don't think he's going to do absolutely nothing. I don't.
Wow.
I don't. I believe they're going to double him and take him out the game. And I don't think he's good enough a wide receiver that he can beat double teams like CD. So I'm looking for Jake Ferguson to have another big game. I'm looking for Kevontae Turpin to really step up. If it's not going to be Pickens, I'm saying it's going to be Turpin because I think he can do some real damage. Tolbert, nobody's scared of Tolbert. Tolbert may get a couple catches, but he ain't going to get no cut, he'll have some one-on-one cutters. Nobody's scared of Tolbert. So if they're going to take away Pickens, they might stack the box. I don't think they think Dak can beat them. They might stack the box this week. Take away, because that's one thing we have done well. And I just don't know if we can be perfect like that. So, as crazy as it may sound, I don't know if the game going to be close, y'all. I think the Cowboys might keep it close starting off, but I can see the Packers winning 31-14, 31-17. I hate to say that. I can't stand it, but I don't see how we really can do it.
Well, one thing I would say is a phenomenon that happens when a player gets traded and he comes back. He puts a lot of pressure on himself to play well, but the 53 people on the other side put pressure on themselves to play well too. So whereas he might raise his game up, I think the Cowboys are going to raise their game up a little bit too this week. This is kind of one of those games, man, that the Cowboys kind of like they're the underdogs, they're at home. That's a situation that it favors them, right? So I think they might play well. Now I don't know what the outcome's going to be because Green Bay's just a better team than us at this point in time. So I don't know what the outcome's going to be in the game, but I kind of expect a close game, to be honest with you. And it's probably going to shock some people, but I expect a close loss.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be close, and the Packers pull away at the end. I think Micah is going to be doubled and tripled all night. It wouldn't shock me if he has 0 sacks. And Micah's going to be hyped for the game. And, Micah, we see it sometimes in his game where he kind of wears down kind of toward the end of the game. So I think that's what's going to happen Sunday. They're gonna double and triple him. They got some other good players. I'm concerned about our secondary. So, I think it wouldn't surprise me if it's a 27-20 type game. Cowboys, they make it close. I will say this: I'm thinking they're gonna play the best game they played this year, just because of the situation. So I think it's gonna be close, and the Packers, pull it out at the end.
And last thing on that, and I don't know if y'all guys want to close it out or not, but if not, listen, the Cowboys win Sunday night, the whole narrative changes.
Absolutely.
I mean, all the slandering we got this week, it'll be like all the rage, and they'll be 2-2 heading to the Jets, and then play Carolina after that. So if they pull this off, you can imagine how the confidence level will go up through the roof for this team here. So
continues.
Yeah, we'll need it. I'm done, guys. Are y'all done?
Yeah. We can go ahead and close, and we'll just promote our channels on the way out. And so again, I'm Cowboy Joe, father and son, Cowboys and Sports Talk, father and son content creators. Please like and subscribe our channel. Really enjoy the time spending with Big Time, my fraternity brother, and B-Bird Cowboy. So we'll see if we can keep this going and do this show and keep it going on the next week. Have a good one, guys.
All right. And it's B-Bird Cowboy. You can catch me on B-Bird Cowboys on YouTube and on Twitter. Just so I haven't put out many videos lately. I've been a little bit under the weather, but I will be putting out some in the coming weeks, especially in following the game Sunday night. So B-Bird Cowboys on YouTube, B-Bird Cowboys on Twitter. So give me a follow if y'all like. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Once again, we did it again. Of course, if you don't know me, those of you that are on B-Bird's channel or Cowboy Joe channel, or whatever day you're watching this, I'm Big Time. You can follow me, the Big Time Show on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Big Time Lou on Twitter, Big Time Lou, Lou, or you just type in the Big Time Show there. It'll pop up, but my handle is at Big Time Lou, Lou, on Twitter. Those are things. I'm on TikTok too, but that's just too much. It's at Big Time Lou on TikTok as well. Listen, as Cowboy Joe just said, hey, we're planning on being with you guys all year long, talking Cowboy talk, talking about what we think needs to happen, talking about the games, talking about the mistakes, talking about the pluses and the minuses, all of that. You're going to get it here on the Cowboys OG Podcast. Listen, and one thing you definitely going to get, you're going to get the truth over here. We don't have no problem saying Cowboys ain't got a chance to win, and we'll say that the Cowboys will win. We'll say who's trashy, who's playing like trash, and who's playing great. So you're going to get the truth over here. I hope you guys continue to follow us. Turn on the live notifications to everybody's channel on this. That way, when we come on live, you'll be able to obviously be with us when we come on. We look like we're locking in slowly but surely on this Friday night type thing. It looks like that seems to be a good day for us. And we'll continue to talk about that. And then you guys can kind of get used to kind of looking for us on a certain day on that point. Until then, look for everybody's channel. We still have our individual shows. Look for that. Look for the videos. Look for the shorts. Look for everything. And then when we come together, it's going to be electrifying. So again, follow all of our shows. Subscribe to all our shows. Subscribe to all our channels. We need you. It's because of you that make us better. I'm done. I believe that's it, y'all. Y'all good?
We good.
Good to go, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Appreciate y'all for joining the Cowboys OG Podcast. And hey, let's go Cowboys. DC for life, baby.